Sorry, I'm still admitting a few people. Okay, so hello again. So I'm just gonna repeat my housekeeping notes. If you have any questions throughout this presentation, please put your questions in the chat function. You can send them to Dr. Lisa Starr. Everyone is muted upon joining, and we will be sending you a copy of this presentation by the end of this week, and we will upload it on the ISA website. Sorry, I think you're seeing my, okay, good. Okay, so who's in the Zoom? Usually we would say who's in the room because we would do this in person. This time we're doing it over Zoom. So we have BEd K elementary students, BEd secondary English, secondary social sciences, secondary math, and secondary science and technology students, BEd TESOL students, BEd music students, and BEd physical education students, and also Bachelor of Science Kinesiology students. And you are joining us today from all over the world, from Quebec and from other provinces in Canada. So to begin with the faculty structure, so the Faculty of Education has a few offices and departments. So we have the Dean's Office and the Internships and Student Affairs Office, the Department of Integrated Studies, DICE, and the Department of Integrated Studies offers the programs in K elementary, secondary, TESOL, and music. The Department of Kinesiology and Physical Education, and this department houses the Bachelor of Sciences in Kinesiology and Bachelor of Education in Physical Education. And we also have the Educational and Counseling Psychology Department, which offers graduate programs in Counseling Psychology and Educational Psychology and other programs as well. So I'm starting now with an introduction about the offices and the departments at the Faculty of Education, and I will be starting with the Dean's Office. I believe that Dean Razier is going to be joining us today, and as well as the Associate Dean Academic Programs, Dr. Alain Bruleux, and they are going to address you shortly. Lisa, is the Dean available to speak to students? Okay, if we can. Dean Razier, the mic is yours.
Okay, I don't. So I'm here basically just to welcome everybody to the Faculty of Education. I'm sure that while joining the faculty now in a very different moment than would have been without the COVID and without the situation that we are, you may have many questions. You may have some anxiety to actually join the faculty right now. But we are here to welcome you and just to let you know that. At the Dean's Office, at the Internship and Student Affairs offices, and at the department levels as well, everybody in the faculty actually worked tremendously hard in the past weeks and months to actually have this semester, the fall semester, and then the subsequent semesters as well, working for you as well as possible in the safest possible environment, if you have to come to campus or not, and with the most degree of clarity, I guess, and information that we may provide. So the student advisors that you have in the internship and students affairs offices and everybody who works there, the personnel in the Dean's Office, everybody actually working in these past days to welcome you in different ways, either while you're having instructions remotely, or if you will have some activities on campus, which are not going to be the majority of that. So we just want to let you know that the semester is going to start differently than we would like as in previous years, in which everybody would be coming to campus and we would have a lot of activities planned to you on campus. But we are assuring that the quality of education that you're having, the services that you're having, the support that you're having is not diminished by any means with this pandemic. So you probably will notice if you come to campus, I've been several times on campus already, although we are officially opening next week. But if you come to campus, you'll notice that we have provided a safe environment, as safe as possible, and everybody has actually worked very hard to have this semester working the best possible way to you. So I'm not going to take more time. I think that you're here mostly for information that's going to be provided to you through the next hour. But again, I just want to congratulate you to get into the fact of education at McGill, and again to welcome you to our school, and we're going to do everything we can to support you the best way you can. Thank you, Yasmin.
Thank you. Dr. Brillo, would you like to address our newly admitted students? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to welcome you all and congratulate you on being admitted into the faculty. As Associate Dean for Academic Programs, I want to share some brief good news in the context of these special circumstances. For those of you who are in the Bachelor of Education leading to a teacher certification program, the ministry for the second year is providing scholarship based on academic merit, up to $7,500 per year to students in years 1 to 4 in the Bachelor of Education program. So it's good news in the context of these special circumstances that the ministry is still valuing the teaching profession and continues to do so through this scholarship program. Secondly, something that those of you who are in the teacher education program want to keep an eye on, and we will inform you, is the soon to be published revised teacher competencies from the Ministry of Education. And those teacher competencies are really well defined, well designed, and different programs in the faculty will be implementing these competencies, and so you're likely to hear about them again. So I just wanted to share with you these brief notes, and looking forward to interacting with you later in the year.
Thank you, Dr. Brillo. So next, one of the departments actually for the Faculty of Education is the Department of Integrated Studies, like I said, and the department chair is Dr. Steve Jordan. The undergraduate program directors are Dr. Caroline Riches and Dr. Mindy Carter. The Assistant Director Undergraduate Teacher Education Programs is Dr. Cheryl Smith-Gilman, and the Director of the Office of First Nations and Inuit Education is Dr. Jim Howden, and I believe they are here also with us to say hi to you and welcome you to the faculty. So I'll leave the mic to, I think, Caroline and Mindy.
Hello, everyone. I'd just like to echo everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome and congratulations on being accepted into the Faculty of Education and starting your program at McGill. These are interesting and unprecedented times, and I think we can all just do our best and take advantage of this situation. We look forward to working with you and to interacting with you online and eventually in person, hopefully in the coming months. So welcome again.
Thank you. Dr. Cheryl Smith-Gilman.
I'll just echo Carolyn, Rich's, and Mindy's welcome. We are thrilled and excited to start an interesting semester, but certainly a wonderful semester. We are excited for you to get your journey going, and just welcome everybody. Congratulations on being part of McGill University, and looking forward to getting to know everybody well, even virtually.
Thank you, Cheryl. And I think Jim is next.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to continue echoing. I think that's the theme. Congratulations and welcome to McGill and to the Faculty of Education. I am one of the two directors of the Office of First Nations and Inuit Education. Stephen Peters works directly with me as co-director of this office, where we work with Indigenous partners in developing in-community teacher education programs. So we don't necessarily interact with students on campus, although I teach on campus and so does Stephen. We teach and create programs for the Indigenous teachers in the Northern Territories. I just want to mention one thing. This is year one. You're starting in year one. In year 4, you will hopefully have the possibility to do your final field experience within an Indigenous context. I know it's far off, and I know it's going to be very different in 4 years. So I'm just putting it out there to let you know that in the past, that program has been very successful. And we have had student teachers from McGill in Listuguj with the Cree and also with the Inuit. So it's just, I'm putting it out there. And when you're on campus and I'm on campus, we both have our offices on the 2nd floor, so stop by.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, so the other department sorry, Mindy, did you want to extend your greetings to students?
Sure. I just have the same welcome message to everyone. It's absolutely wonderful to greet you all in this particular way. Congratulations for making it to the program. And I'm new to this particular position as well. So as we go along, I look forward to getting to know you and learning together. So thank you for having me today. Thank
you, Mindy. So the other department under the Faculty of Education is the Department of Kinesiology and Physical Education, KPE. The department chair is Dr. Julie Cotte, and the undergraduate program director is Dr. Gordon Bloom. This department is actually located in Curry Gym, and most of the classes are offered in that building, but we always encourage students to come visit us in the education building. I believe that we don't have Dr. Cotte or Dr. Bloom with us today, but they will be also meeting you during the departmental advising session. And later on, you will meet also the advisor of the Kinesiology and Physical Education department. So academic advising. The advisors, we have advisors for each program and each department. For students in the Department of I'll start with the Department of Integrated Studies. So DICE programs, K Elementary, Secondary, TESOL, Music. The advisors are Tina, Grace, and Susie, and I believe that they are here with us today to say hi to all of you. Grace, Tina, Susie, would you like to address the students?
Well, this is a great opportunity to also extend my welcome to all newly admitted students. Thank you for taking the time to come to this session. But as Yasmin mentioned, you will meet us again, the department advisors, a little later. Some of you will be meeting us tomorrow, K Elementary, and on Monday, TESOL and Secondary. So we will share more at that point. So let me just welcome you once again, but I will see you shortly. Bye.
Thanks, Grace.
Yeah, I'd also just like to say welcome. Looking forward to seeing you and working with you over the next 4 years. And we will be able to, like Grace had said, discuss more of the particularities of your program in the information sessions we'll be offering over the coming days. So again, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you, Susie. I'm not sure if Tina is with us. I guess you will meet Tina in the departmental advising sessions. For the Department of Kinesiology and Physical Education, the program advisor is Nada Abumeri, and I believe Nada is here today with us to welcome all the kinesiology and physical education students. Nada, the mic is yours.
Well, Kin and Phys Ed students, some of you have already met me. We got to see each other in June before registration opened. For those of you who have not yet seen my face, get used to it. You're going to see a lot of it, whether it be virtual or in person. So hopefully we can learn to love each other. I also want to, on behalf of Dr. Cote and Dr. Gordon Bloom, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, officially welcome you and congratulate you on this milestone of embarking upon your undergraduate studies. McGill's special place, and you are all special for being here with us, and we look forward to helping you as you navigate the next 4 or 5 years in our programs. As Yasmin has mentioned, we will be holding a departmental orientation and advising session on Monday, August 31st. You'll get to see me again. My voice is going to haunt you, but you know, at least you know I'm always here if you need me. On that note, I turn it back to Yasmin.
Thank you, Nada.
Hi, Yasmin. I just want to say I'm on. It's Tina.
Hi, Tina.
So sorry about that before.
No worries.
I'm using a different computer, so my name doesn't appear. So my name is Tina Schivone. I'm part of the advising team in DICE. So for those students who have me, here I am. And I look forward to seeing you all virtually or face-to-face, hopefully one day soon. And you're embarking in an amazing program, and we look forward to working with you and help you through the journey. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Tina. So why would you contact an academic advisor? Why would you want to see an academic advisor? First, you will know who your academic advisor is by going to Minerva and going to students' records menu and checking your unofficial transcript, and then you will see your name, your ID number, and then you will see the name of your academic advisor. For kinesiology physical education students, it's easy, it's Nada, but for the all other programs, you would have to check your transcript to see who your advisor is. So you would want to see an academic advisor if you are having registration difficulties. For some reason, the courses that you need to register for, it's not working for you in Minerva, so contact your academic advisor. If you're not sure about the course selection, for example, if you are a BEd secondary student in social sciences and you need to take geography classes and you're not sure which classes to take, also contact your program advisor. If you need to get approval for courses taken at other universities, for example, if you want to take a course at another university and you would like to know whether it's equivalent to a course at McGill, also to review your study plan or review your program progression, go see your advisor. If you have advanced standing, so if you have a previous degree and you're coming to McGill and this is your second degree, or you have advanced standing credits from IPs or International Baccalaureate or French Baccalaureate, also come see your advisor. If you have any challenges, personal, financial, or medical, go see your advisor. And if your GPA grade point average is under 2 after your first term, go ahead and make sure to schedule an appointment with your advisor to discuss your options and the resources that are available for you. The advisors talked about their academic orientation and advising sessions. So each program has a mandatory departmental academic orientation / advising session. So these sessions will cover We'll cover the program overview, the program structure, the course selection, registration, and the field experience schedule for BEAD program students. And we'll provide you with individual advice on individual situations in case you have advanced standing or you have other concerns that you would like to discuss with your advisor. So as Nada said, the session for kinesiology and physical education students is on Monday, August 31st, and it's via Zoom. Nada already sent you an email with the link to the Zoom invitation. The advising sessions for DICE students, so K Elementary, TESOL Secondary, they are happening between tomorrow and Monday. And for students with advanced standing in the BEAD secondary program and the BEAD K Elementary and TESOL program, it's going to be on September 1st. Just give me a minute to discuss the pédagogie de l'immersion française, the PIF program. The PIF program is an option embedded in the K Elementary program. So it's only an option for the K Elementary students. It is designed to prepare pre-service teachers to teach in French immersion programs. What does French immersion mean? A French immersion is equal to teaching or learning French as a second language through subject or content areas. For example, you would be teaching social sciences in French while other subjects will be taught in English. This is like a 30 credit inclusion to the K Elementary program where you will be not taking any additional credits. It's embedded in the K Elementary program, and it increases your chances of finding jobs upon graduation, since the French immersion is the norm in English schools in Quebec and now is very popular all across Canada. So if you're interested, register for the French language placement test at the French Language Center, and you will find the information on the website. I just want to say again that this PowerPoint presentation is going to be sent to your McGill email account, so you don't have to take notes. Now going back to the Faculty of Education offices and departments, I would like to introduce you now to the Internships and Student Affairs Office and actually our team. I'm going to start by the admin team. Dr. Lisa Starr is the ISA Director. Myself, I am the Interim ISA Officer Manager. And Jana Priginero is the Interim ISA Administrator. Dr. Starr, the mic is yours.
Thanks, Yasmin, and thank you everyone for joining us. Talk about an introduction to teaching. I tell you, if you can make it as a teacher under these conditions, your future is very solid. And so welcome. As Yasmin said, our office is primarily responsible for your student teaching placements in your program. We work in cooperation with schools within the Greater Montreal area and beyond. To secure placements for you to get in there and practice your developing teaching skills and your pedagogy, and hopefully work with young people across the province to then make a contribution to improving on the already high standard of education and to be part of that system. The majority of our students are from Quebec, though we do have many students from outside the province as well. So I know many of you are familiar with the circumstances that we're in right now, but we've been very, very fortunate with the relationships that we have with schools. They've opened their doors to us despite all of the uncertainty. And so we look forward to being able to find you the right fit for your placement and get you in those classrooms and get learning. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. So we also have in the Internships and Student Affairs Office our placement coordinators, Gabby and Vivian. Gabby and Vivian are responsible for securing placements for all the field experience the students have to go out on during their 4 years. So it's FE1 throughout FE4. Gabby and Vivian were not able to join us today because they are working right now and are very busy with finalizing placements for students who are going out on their second field experience on Monday, but they send their greetings to you. We also have the ISA office. Pat and Debbie. Pat and Debbie are always there to greet you with a smile at our counter. So hopefully when everything is back to normal and you're on campus, you can come see us. We usually have treats, especially around holidays, Halloween and Christmas. You will always find candies and chocolate. So hopefully we will see you there soon. We also have in our team the career advisor, Lara Franco, and our education wellness advisor, Sabrina Bruno, who are like especially for the education students and undergraduate education students and graduate students. They will be also speaking to you shortly about their services and the resources they provide to you. So why would you contact the ISA office? For student affairs reasons, international students, if you are in the BEd program, international students have to get a mandatory co-op work permit. This is different from the part-time work permit that you get as a student. This is especially for students going out on stage or field experience or internships. So email us at isa.education@mcgill.ca and we will provide you with this letter so that you can present it to the immigration office. If you have any questions about your academic standing or you're worried about your academic standing after the first term at McGill, contact us. If you have questions about the leave of absence or part-time status, also contact us. Usually students are expected to be full-time students at McGill, but for extenuating circumstances, you might be eligible to be a part-time student, so you can contact us as well. You can contact the ISA office or apply in Minerva to defer your exam or apply for a supplemental exam. Deferred exams is, for example, if you have a final exam in December and you fall sick and you need to defer your exam, this means that you will sit for the exam sometime later, and this is usually done in March. So this is an opportunity for you. So you can apply in Minerva and always email us if you have any questions. You can also email us for any late course add or late course withdrawal. Usually these are for extenuating circumstances, and to late add a course, you would have to get approval from the instructor. You would also contact our office at the end of your BEd program to get your teaching certification so that you become licensed to teach in Quebec. You can also contact our office for student teaching reasons. For example, if you have any questions about your placement at school, if you're interested in special or distant field experience opportunities, usually distant field experience opportunities are only authorized in year 4, your 4th field experience. You can do it somewhere else, provided that it fits the criteria of the ministry. Unfortunately, this winter, we're not sure if it's going to happen for year 4 students because of the COVID-19 situation, but hopefully by the time you are in year 4, you might have this option. You can also contact us to confirm your field experience dates or arrangements. If you are registered with the Office of Students with Disabilities and require accommodations in the field, you can also get in touch with us and for any other questions about the field experience. I just want to go through this slide very quickly. This is to remind you of the drop and add deadlines. So for the for the fall term, September 15th is the deadline for you to add a course. For the winter term, January 19th is the deadline to add a course. Usually students are not penalized if they add a course later and before September 15th. Let's say you added a course on September 10th, you are not penalized for any assignment before that date, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you cover any of the missed sessions. Also, pay attention to the exam dates, December 8 to 22 for the fall term and April 15th to 29th for the winter term. However, these dates are like the schedule for these days is still tentative, and we will definitely send you emails when things are finalized. We have a March break between March 1st and 5th, and we also have the legal holidays. So September 7, you don't have any classes because it's a legal holiday in Canada. So how can you contact us? For the time being, we encourage you to send us emails. We are currently not in the office to take your calls, but we actually are planning to go back. It's phase 5, and we are planning to go back to the office hopefully starting next week. However, we will let you know. So when we are back in the office, and you can see the photo of our counter, you can come and see us. However, you would have to contact us 48 hours in advance to take an appointment. And before you come to see us, you would have to fill the self-assessment form the day of the visit, and which is found in Minerva, which is like an assessment to make sure that you haven't been in contact with anybody who had COVID. For the time being, we encourage you to email us until you hear more from us about our availabilities. So now I'll leave you to learn more about our career advising services that Lara provides to you. Lara?
Thank you, Yasmin. Yes, so my name is Lara Franco, and I've been at the Faculty of Education for just under a year, so I'm fairly new as well. But I want to welcome all of the Bachelor of Science Kinesiology new students, as well as all of the Bachelor of Education program students to the faculty. I think it's going to be a great year. We are providing all of our services remotely, so you don't have to worry about missing out on anything. If you are interested in coming for an in-person appointment, you can find me in the education building, and my office is within the ISA office on the 2nd floor. Right now, as Yasmin mentioned, we're not quite there yet. So if you try calling, unfortunately, we won't be able to answer. So the best way to contact us is by email. So career.education@mcgill.ca. And I do also have a web page on the ISA website, so you can check that out as well. And then finally, the best resource for careers that we have right now is My Future, which is an online platform which you can upload your CV to, you can book appointments through, you can see what all the workshops coming up are, and we also have a job board on there as well. So all of these employers that are posting their opportunities on My Future are hiring McGill students for part-time work, for full-time opportunities, and this will be a great resource for you to find part-time jobs throughout your degree, summer jobs, summer internships, and then once you graduate, there are opportunities posted on there as well for both kinesiology and education graduates. So in addition to the Faculty of Education specific services, you also have access to the Central Career Planning Service. And this semester, because our programming is remote, we are collaborating with this Central Career Planning Service to offer a bootcamp series. So these are kind of condensed mini versions of our workshops so that you don't have to spend too much time on Zoom. So they're about 30 minutes long, and they go over the basic topics of CV and cover letter writing, LinkedIn basics, interviewing, networking, all of these kind of key topics in career advising you can do in little bite-sized pieces, which is really great. We've been developing those since April, so we've had a lot of practice over the summer, and we're really open to having all of you participate in these in September and throughout the semester. They also offer support to my office with planning career fairs and mentor programs, and then again, once they're fully reopened in person, they do actually have a resource center and a really great career library. So they do employ a few career librarians, and you can go in and they can help you research very specific careers and very specific industries, and give you all of the insider information on those. So that's a great resource for you to know about as well. Why you should come and see a career advisor. So there could be a multitude of reasons. Firstly, career development. So if you're really not sure what you're planning to do post-graduation from your bachelor's degree, you can come meet with me and we can establish either a career strategy. We can talk about maybe going into graduate school, looking at international opportunities. I know many of our teacher graduates like to go abroad for a few years after graduation. And we can also talk about the pros and cons of doing alternative or distant placements. So as Yasmin has mentioned, as well as Jim at the beginning, your fourth field placement, you could go somewhere abroad, somewhere into a northern community, a Cree community, or Inuit community. If you're kind of on the fence about that, you want to talk to someone about these things, I'm available to have those types of conversations. I'm also available to discuss alternate career options. So say, for example, you're coming to the end of your kinesiology degree and you're not quite sure what to do, those kind of conventional career paths that kinesiology graduates take aren't appealing to you. We can talk about kind of pivoting your career strategy and going into other fields. Additionally, if you're just interested in some quick help reviewing your CV, cover letters for current job interviews, whether they're related to kinesiology or education or not, I'm happy to do that. I can also help you with interview techniques. We can go over some interview questions and practice that, as well as I can help you find some degree-related jobs for summer opportunities and things like that. And then finally, graduate schools. So if you're interested in particular programs, we can talk those through, pros and cons. And then also I do provide application support. So if you do have a personal statement you want me to review, an academic CV, then those are things that I'm able to assist with as well. And then finally, one of the main kind of events that we put on with the Education Career Services Office are the career fairs. So there are 4 career fairs that are being planned for this academic year. So in the fall semester, we will be hosting the Kinesiology Career Fair and the International Teaching Fair. Typically, these fairs occur in November. We're still finalizing the dates with the Central Career Office. So those are to be determined, as well as in the winter semester, we do offer the Education Career Fair for B.Ed students, as well as the Summer Job Fair, which combines really great opportunities for summer jobs in both the fields of kinesiology and in education. And then finally, we do host a multitude of events throughout the year. So if you want to learn more about that, you can check out our Facebook page. So that's the Internships and Student Affairs Office page. We share that with the rest of the office. So sometimes you'll see information about placements, sometimes you'll see information about jobs, sometimes you'll see information about scholarships. All of these things are posted on the ISA Facebook page, and you can follow it there. So Yasmin, I think it's on the next slide that they can see that information. Yeah, perfect. And then going on next, typically we would have your student societies come and introduce themselves. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we don't want you sitting in front of your computers all day. So we've asked them to host their own independent welcome sessions this year, and they are happy to do that. So in addition to your Frosh activities, which are planned online and starting tomorrow, your EduS president, Courtney Murdoch, sends her well wishes to all new students. And she encourages you all to go check out their Facebook page and their Instagram. They're always posting updates there on what's happening with the Education Undergraduate Society. And then SAPEC, your interim president, Alex Noivo, also sends his best wishes and regards. He is also directing you to their Facebook and Instagram pages, SAPEC McGill. So that's the Student Association for Physical Education and Kinesiology. So they run a lot of those events, whether they be academic or social events for kinesiology and physical education students. And then finally, we have Medusa, which is a really cool name for the Music Education Undergraduate Student Association. And again, they aren't able to join us today, but they do have a really active presence online, and they do have a private Facebook group, which you will get the link to once Yasmin sends this presentation to you all. And again, they're super excited. If you're interested in getting involved in any way on campus, then You can get involved with any of these student associations, and they are really a great way to get to know other students and get involved on campus. And then I'll now pass the mic on to Sabrina, who's our wellness advisor.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Lara. My name is Sabrina, and I am your local wellness advisor in the Faculty of Education. You may have or may not have heard of wellness advisors, but we have a wellness advisor in every unit and faculty within the university. So just to let you know a little bit about what my role is, I am a mental health professional. So when we talk about wellness, we're really talking about what's going to keep us well throughout the semester, throughout our time at McGill. So we're going to look at different aspects of our wellness. So our social wellness, which is going to be a huge factor now that classes will be online this semester. So I know that's been a little bit of a concern for certain students. You know, how am I going to make those social connections, especially going into my first year? So there's definitely different strategies, different things that we can look at together. I'll be holding different workshops throughout the semester as well, just on, you know, how can we keep our social connections alive? How can we make sure that physically, emotionally, academically, we're doing well? And if we are struggling, what are the resources that might be helpful? So if you're unsure of what you would need yourself, right? So if I'm struggling, but I'm not really sure who I need to go to, what resources I need to reach out to, then I'm that one-stop shop. You can come to me, and then I will be able to refer you to that right place. So I also hold one-on-one appointments. So if ever you wanted to meet with me, unfortunately it won't be in person for the semester, it will be online, but it would just be like any other one-on-one session. We would meet online, introduce ourselves, everything would remain confidential, and we would look at what you might be struggling with, what you might be needing a little bit of support with, and then we would take it from there and create a wellness plan together. Yasmin, can we go? Thank you. So this is just a little introduction to the wellness wheel, what that looks like, just to give you a little bit of an idea of, sometimes we don't really know ourselves, you know, what is wellness? So looking at, you know, culturally, financially, spiritually, what might be some things that I haven't been paying attention to that would be helpful, that I would need, and taking it from there. So as a wellness advisor, I am housed within the Faculty of Education, but I also work within Student Services and the Student Wellness Hub. So with the Student Wellness Hub, it's an integrated hub where you can find physical and mental health services, as well as nutritional. So if you're looking to meet with a doctor, if you're looking to meet with a counselor, a wellness advisor, perhaps a dietitian, this is your one-stop shop. So if you go to the McGill Student Wellness Hub website, you can really browse the website and look at, okay, do I want to meet with a professional? Maybe I want to start with some self-help. So we have really different options in terms of your needs. And again, if you're not sure yourself what you're needing or who you'd like to reach out to, you can always reach out to me and we can have that conversation together in terms of what would be the best resource for you. But I really encourage you all to look at the Student Wellness Hub website, because right now they are the majority is online, but I would say if you really did need to meet with a doctor in person, you would be triaged over the phone, and then afterwards you might be given an in-person appointment with a doctor or nurse, just depending on the situation and what you're needing. So things are going to look a little bit different this semester, but the services and the resources are still there. So again, just looking at what kind of support are you looking for: mental health, academic supports, physical health issues, self-care, etc. So just to break it down for you, within the counseling supports, I know sometimes we can come into a new space, a new university setting, and we might feel that, you know what, I'd really like to get connected with a counselor. I might have had one in high school or in CEGEP. That was really helpful for me. So it's definitely an option that you can look at, or we can discuss that together. You know, am I needing counseling support, or am I simply just needing someone that's going to guide me in the right direction? But we do have different options. If you're not interested in meeting with someone one-on-one online, we have group therapy, we have different workshops that we'll be having, we have the peer support center as well. So that's really great because we have students supporting students. So sometimes it might be a little bit easier to talk to another student versus talking to a mental health professional. So if you want to check out the Peer Support Center, that's a fantastic resource as well. And TAO is one of our self-help tools. It's therapy assisted online. So you kind of go through different modules yourself of looking at, you know, what am I struggling with? Is it my thoughts, my emotions, my stress, my anxiety? And they give you some practical tips and tools for that. I'll be sending out emails throughout the semester, just alerting you to different workshops that I'll be putting on, different activities that we're going to be putting together for students. So you can be on the lookout for that as well. And just so you know a little bit about student services as a whole, so the Student Wellness Hub, so physical and mental health services, is one aspect. But we also have campus life and engagement. So they're really fantastic, especially for you U0 and U1 students just coming into the university, you know, wanting to get familiar with the different services, the different maybe student clubs, organizations, student government. They're holding a lot of different webinars and activities for students. So that would be a really great resource for you all to check out as well. As Lara mentioned, we have the career planning service. We have First People's House as well for Indigenous students, international student services. So if you're a student either from the rest of Canada or the United States or anywhere else abroad, and you have questions about maybe your visa or anything like that, you can reach out to International Student Services. And then we also have the Office for Students with Disabilities. So if you're struggling, whether it might be with a physical health or mental health issue that you would need support with, they're a great resource to reach out to as well. The Office of Religious and Spiritual Health. Scholarships and student aid if you were looking at maybe getting some support with finances or scholarships, that kind of thing. And then again, the Wellness Hub. So that's just a little overview of student services as a whole and the different options that are there for you depending on your needs. And then if you would like to contact me directly, you can email me at LWA, so Local Wellness Advisor, .education@mcgill.ca, or you can click the link when you receive the presentation and go directly to my online booking calendar where you can book an appointment with me one-on-one directly. And now I'll hand it back to Yasmin.
Yes, thank you, Sabrina. So we will be starting next with Sharon Rankin, who's going to give us a bit of information about the resources available for students at the McGill Library and Archives. Sharon?
Yes, good morning. Welcome to all you new students from the library. We're really excited to meet you virtually. Jasmine, I think you're going to be advancing the slides for me. I'll go to the next slide. So because we're going to be seeing you all virtually, be sure to bookmark the library web pages. You'll find there links to all the resources that you need for your research projects. This is me. Actually, you can go to the next slide. This is me, my coordinates, my email, and I ask you to reach out with all of your research questions, and we will definitely help you out. and particularly the subject guide that you see as the last item on the screen. The Education-General Subject Guide will link you to specific library resources in education. I encourage you to explore that guide and then to reach out to me with your questions. Next slide. And because you'll be doing most of your research from home, we have a new webpage called Your Library at Home, Library à la Maison. And there we've tried to put together everything that you will need, including links to the next slide, which is the Hathi Trust Digital Library. Because our library collection is inaccessible to you, the Hathi Trust membership that we hold has opened up many, many, many ebooks, providing access to our physical collection. So those links are all in the library catalog. For those of you who actually want to request that a print book from our collections, on the next slide you saw our summer terrace pickup. So what you do is you make a request, and our library staff will retrieve the book and bring it out for you, and you have to do that by request. And finally, I just would like to mention that we have a great number of resources on health and wellness that I would like you to reach out. And this is the last slide here with the McGill Library Helps. We're available for you. We have a virtual chat running daily from 10 to 6. And there is a plan under the works for the library to open as a study hub. And if you watch our web pages, we'll be announcing that as soon as it's actually formalized. So thanks very much, and I hope to hear from all of you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Sharon. And sorry, the slides keep on moving to the next one. I keep on getting back and it's not working. I'm not sure why this is happening. Thank you again. So go back to the services provided by the student teaching team. I will leave now the mic to Dr. Starr, who will introduce you more to the student teaching office and student teaching services. I would like to let you know that this is not applicable to the Bachelor of Sciences in Kinesiology. So for Bachelor of Sciences in Kinesiology students, if you don't have any questions, you can leave this meeting right now. If you have questions, please wait until the questions and answers slide so that we can answer your question. And this is basically for all BEAD students, whether they are K-elementary, secondary, TESOL, music, or physical education. Dr. Starr.
Thanks, everyone. Talk about a wealth of information. I hope you're taking notes. I know I have been, because there's no doubt that there is going to be a lot that you'll have questions about, and quite possibly some things that you will forget. But that's why we're all here. We're here to support you and to help you and to navigate the startup of what should be a really fruitful few years for you at McGill. So what you're seeing in front of you here is a document that we've developed called the McGill Principles of Practice, Behavior and Ethical Conduct for Student Teachers. As I'm sure you're aware, the issue of professionalism is particularly important in the field of education, particularly for teachers themselves. Different provinces have different codes of conduct or codes of ethics, as does Quebec. And in order to communicate the importance of that, we wanted to make sure that this was very clear to all of our BEd students from the outset of their program. And so, sorry, our BEd and our MATL students, pardon me. So what you're seeing here is just a quick overview of the different areas of professionalism that we expect you to understand and model. There's a link there to the acknowledgement statement. What we ask is that everyone read through them and acknowledge that they've read them and agree to adhere to them. I've also put a link in the chat so you can go directly to our website. If you go to the ISA, the Internship and Student Affairs website, and you click on Student Affairs, you'll see that the McGill Principles of Practice are listed in the top left corner. You'll see them right away. And you can click on them there to read them. And there's also procedures for if there is an issue or an alleged violation of them, which rarely happens, but it does happen. The biggest thing that we want to communicate to all of you is the high expectations that we have for you as teacher candidates are the same as the high expectations that people have of teachers in schools. And we want to make that clear right from the outset. And so what this does is provides you details for that. So at some point, I would suggest you do it today because it's still fresh in your mind. Take a minute to read through these, go to the acknowledgement and click on that, and then we'll have a record of you understanding them. And make sure that you refer back to them. They are derived from several professional documents, both used here in Quebec and more widely in Canada. And so they're quite well grounded in what the common practices are within the field of education and teacher preparation. So our field experiences for BEd students happen at 4 different points in your program. The first field experience actually has 2 different delivery times based on your program. You can see the dates listed there. So our first field placement actually happens in November for the ELA social science students from secondary, our K elementary, and our TESOL students. And then you can see that secondary math and music and phys ed happen in the spring. So during that first placement, you're really there to get a feel for what schools are like. We do not ask that you hit the ground running and start teaching on the first day. We'd like you to get in there and see what schools are about. Some of you haven't been in school for a while, and we want you to see what's really happening. And the last time you were in school, you were there in a very different capacity. And the role of the teacher is one that you will see from a very different perspective than what you recall. So you can see that in each year of your program, we have a field placement. One that happens in your first year, either in the fall or spring. Under normal circumstances, your second year field placement would happen in the spring. Your third and year 3 would happen in the fall, and your last one is in your final term in the winter of year 4. Each one of these is slightly different in duration, so the first 2 are quite a bit shorter, and then the third and the fourth are more substantial. And it's also in the third and fourth where you really start to take on some more independence and begin actively teaching different groups of students on your own under the supervision of a cooperating teacher and a McGill field supervisor. So the placement process is a very complex one, and the biggest thing I want you to understand is that we don't use an algorithm, we don't use a formula. This is a very human-based system. We have placement coordinators that Yasmin introduced you to earlier that do a tremendous amount of legwork, contacting schools, working with school administrators, working with school boards, working with cooperating teachers to secure placements for you to go in and develop your practice. And it takes a lot of compassion, a certain amount of innovation and creativity to pull that system together. So it does take time, and I know often people really want to be, have the perfect placement. And I don't believe that a perfect placement really exists. I think your potential to learn from each one of them is great no matter where you're located. We do take into account different factors as best we can, but we always remind students to keep in mind we can only offer you placements that have been offered to us from the schools. We don't create them for you. We begin to match people based on what the schools are able to give us. So as I said, it's a time-consuming process. Normally you'll get a form that we ask you to fill out, a placement form that gives us more information. It's important to keep your geographic information up to date in Minerva, so the address where you reside, because we also factor that in when we're trying to find a placement. We know that commuting in Montreal has its own unique challenges at the best of times, so we want to make sure that we're not putting undue strain on anyone by asking them to do something in terms of the commute that's just too challenging. And in that process, as I said, you'll be working directly with a cooperating teacher and then with a field supervisor hired by McGill who comes in to also observe and provide you feedback and really help you to be successful in each one of those field placements. So here's a couple of things just to pay attention to and to flag for what you want to do in the short term. As I mentioned, you want to make sure you have your current mailing address and phone number. If you're someone who does not normally reside in Montreal and in Minerva, you have your mailing address from your parents' house in Trois-Rivières. That's not going to help. You want to make sure you have your current Montreal address. You want to make sure that you're registered for the actual field placement course, which for you is EDFE 200 or 209. You want to review the student teaching section of the ISA website. There is a ton of information on there. We have an online or an handbook that we rely on so that the information is always current and up to date. You, cooperating teachers and field supervisors, as well as schools and other McGill involved people, all have access to the same information. And please, please, please read your email. I know you get a lot of information from the university, and you will continue to get a lot of information, but the reason you're getting it is that it's important. And we ask that you read it, and when you have questions, get in touch with your placement coordinator. The email address was also posted earlier, but you can also find it on our website. Any of you requiring academic accommodations and have been in touch with the Office of Students with Disabilities, you may understand that your academic accommodations don't necessarily lend themselves to the field. So for example, if in the past you've had academic accommodations that require perhaps more time when writing an exam, that obviously doesn't apply as clearly to field, but we have been working directly with the Office of Students with Disabilities to develop field-based accommodations when needed. So if you feel as though that's something that you need, please get in touch with them, and then we'll begin to work together as a team to help create a scenario that will allow you to be successful. One final point, it's our office's responsibility to do all of the placements. So we ask that you do not contact schools or teachers independently. I know the temptation is there, and then oftentimes it's out of a genuine place of wanting to help. But schools, you can imagine, have a lot of different people contacting you at different times. We have many universities seeking placements. So in order to keep that process running as effectively as possible, we ask that you leave the placements to us, and we will arrange them for you. So the Ministry of Education has a requirement for all programs, and ours, because we're an English program, is called the English Exam for Teacher Certification, or EETC. The Ministry of Education requires that all students pass that exam before going on their third field experience. So that means there are multiple opportunities to write the exam, which is offered by the Center for the English Exam for Teacher Certification. We don't offer it. But we do partner with them to provide opportunities to our students to write the exam. There is a maximum number of attempts that you can have before we reevaluate whether or not this program is the right one for you. And so you should be aware of that as well. There's some information, and again, you'll get lots of information from our office about what to do and how to register. But just make sure that when you get the opportunity, you do register. Even though you might be a first language English speaker, please take some time to review. We have had students in the past who perhaps underestimated the exam and had to retake it. And we want you to have get through that step, that hurdle, as quickly as possible so it doesn't delay your program.
Lisa, I would like to add that currently the EDEC 215 is not scheduled yet. So students cannot register for it right now. We would have to wait until we hear from the EETC center to see when the test is offered. And then we will email all the students to let them know that they can go ahead and register both at the EETC website, CEETC website, and on Minerva for EDEC 215. We're not sure when the test is going to be scheduled. And if it is going to be scheduled due to COVID-19, so we will update you once we have more information about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Yasmin. That's a good reminder. The reason for that is the exam is actually an in-person exam. It's not an online exam. And so obviously with new regulations about large-scale gatherings, that's affected their center's ability to offer the exam. So that's what the delay is in the scheduling. Okay, we can move on.
Thank you. So now we're at the end of the presentation, and it's open for questions.
So Yasmin, if I am understanding correctly, we're going to do the questions through the chat. Is this correct?
Yes, I think we have been receiving questions. I can stop sharing my screen to look at the questions and see if I have received anything.
Okay. So all of you that, if you look down towards the bottom of your screen, you should see an icon that says chat. If you have a question, by all means, post it in the chat. The reason we're using the chat is not to silence you. It's just to make this a little bit more effective and to try and maximize our time together. I'm moderating the chat as best I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off my audio and my video and start working through that. But I'd also like to say, you know, it's okay to not memorize everything that we've said here today. There's going to be a ton of information available to you. And don't feel bad about coming back and saying, you know, I think we talked about this, but I can't remember what we said. You know, get in touch with your placement coordinator if it's about your field placement. Get in touch with your academic advisor. There are a ton of people available to help you and support you. And really, honestly, no question is too big or too small for us to try and assist you with. Right now, people are also making themselves available for online appointments. In the coming weeks, we'll also have a sign-up system for face-to-face appointments if needed, with of course safety measures in place for physical and social distancing. So you have lots of opportunities to get the help that you need. Okay, so I'm going to turn off. Actually, maybe what I'll do, I'm just reading the questions right now.
Lisa, I can begin. I have a question. So the question is regarding tomorrow's session. So I believe it's a question about the session provided by DICE. You should have received communication from the department about the advising sessions tomorrow. So if you haven't, I'm going to write an email address that you can send your questions to, so that you can get the link or to the Zoom session.
Okay, so I'm going to go through just a couple of the questions because I think some of them are worth sharing. I'm going to be completely transparent. I don't know the answer to all of the questions, but we have a great team of people here that quite likely do know the answer. So we're going to do our best to answer as many of them as we can. If we don't get to your question, or if we miss a question here and there, again, please feel free to reach out to either your placement coordinators or your academic advisors, and they're probably the people that will know all of the details to the questions you're asking. So there's one question here about the EETC exam and the maximum number of attempts. The Ministry of Education gives people 4 attempts to pass the exam. If they haven't passed in 4 attempts, then what we normally do is our office contacts you to have a meeting to talk about what supports you've utilized and where there may be some issues, and then make a decision. We have had students that have had to withdraw from the program because they haven't been able to pass the exam in 4 attempts. And this comes from, there's the parallel experience in the French system with the French exam. So the short answer is 4 attempts. Next question, how do we register for the first field experience? I did have some information on the slides about that. Yasmin, you want to give some specific information for us?
Yes, so you would have to check your program preview. So if you're, let's say, in the BEdK elementary program, you go to the mcgill.ca/DISE, which is the website for Department of Integrated Studies. They offer the K elementary programs, secondary programs, TESOL, and music. So you go and choose the program, and then you would also choose the new student program preview, and you will have a list of the courses that you are supposed to register for. and these are the courses you are registering for, all of them except for EDEC 215 for year 1 students, because it's not offered right now. So stick to the program preview, which is available on the DICE website or the kinesiology and physical education website for kinesiology and physical education students.
Okay, so let me go on to the next one. Someone is registered for the K Elementary orientation tomorrow, but is looking for the Zoom link to attend. Any of our advisors able to answer that one? Susie, are you with us to answer that one?
I am, yes. I was trying to unmute. Thank you for unmuting me. Yes, I did put in the chat just to mention that these links have been provided to all students via the Campus Life and Engagement, I believe it's called McGill Pro. And just a reminder, email will be sent to all of you today for tomorrow's session, just giving you the link so you have the most up-to-date information. And for the TESOL group for next Monday, same thing. It'll be at least, well, probably by Friday. I don't think I'll send it on Sunday, but at least 24 hours in advance, you'll have that information. So no worries.
Great, thank you for that. There's a question about Frosh, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have much to do with Frosh. But there's a question about where to find the COVID-19 training for the course. Does anyone know the response to that one? Yasmin, do you know that one?
Sorry, Lisa, can you repeat?
It's a question about the COVID-19 training for Frosh.
Not really. I don't have information about that.
So who would they contact for that one?
I'm not sure if they would have to contact the Life Campus and Engagement.
Campus Life and Engagement, okay.
Yeah, Campus Life and Engagement.
Campus Life and Engagement, okay.
Yes. For the time being, I posted all the Zoom links for the K Elementary and the other programs in that chat box.
Just make sure when you post them to the chat, you're posting them to everyone in the meeting and not everyone in the waiting room. Otherwise, people can't see them.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, that's great. So Gail has a question about the orientation sessions. No, they're not the same every day. They do differ. Today is an overview, and some of the information will be somewhat redundant, but keeping in mind that it's coming from specific groups. So they will have more in-depth information. So for example, the K Elementary orientation, there'll be much more specific information for those of you in the K Elementary program about your programming, your courses, your options, all of those types of things that we didn't cover today. This is a good question from Ashita. Let's see, I'm in a remote community in northern Quebec. Is it possible to have my placement arranged here? Anything's possible. Whether or not it can happen, what we found, given the circumstances, and I'm sure all of you have figured this out, we're learning very quickly about what we can and can't do. And thankfully, we're able to do a lot. So under normal circumstances, we have our FE1 students go out in groups. And so they go out as a cohort and they experience that first FE together. Obviously, with the majority, if not all of your courses being offered remotely this term, the idea of having to come to Montreal for 2 weeks to do a field placement seems kind of counterproductive. We recognize that. So what I would suggest if you are in that position, please get in touch with your placement coordinator. Get in touch with them, let them know where you're at and what your situation is. And we've been trying as best as we can to accommodate those placements to make sure that we're not putting undue stress on you to try and get your placement. Okay, so placement coordinator, start there and we'll figure it out. There's another good question here. Are we allowed to choose the school for our longest student teaching placement? No, you don't get to choose the school. You rarely get to choose the school in any of them. However, on the placement forms, you can definitely make requests. And we do our best to accommodate requests whenever we can, provided they're reasonable. And so we're not interested in ignoring them in any stretch, but just keep in mind, sometimes your request doesn't always align with the information that we have. So often we get questions like, well, I requested this school because it's 2 blocks away and I can walk there, but you didn't place me at that school. And the reason why we wouldn't place you at that school is that we were not given an opportunity for placements at that school. That's generally the reason. So even though it seems very convenient to you, we can't offer you something that doesn't exist for us. So even though that school is incredibly convenient and 2 blocks away and would be great, perhaps for that time of year, the teachers aren't interested in taking on a student teacher. So unfortunately, we have to look for another placement. So again, the placement form that you receive, look at it, fill out the information. You can make a request on there. We don't guarantee the requests, but we do the best we can to accommodate them. Just a question of clarification around the EETC exam. It is not available for Year 0 students. Is there a specific date professors are supposed to email students to order textbooks? Cheryl, are you still with us? I believe there's been information shared with our instructors about the time when they're sending out information about the course outlines and things.
Correct. You should have received some information. Reminder is going out today to instructors to make sure that you guys will have enough time to get your books or materials. Hopefully most of you have heard. I know many instructors have sent out that information. So reminder will be going out today, so watch your emails.
Thank you, that's perfect. A couple other questions. Again, there's some information, Yasmin, I'm not sure if you've posted it, about the orientation sessions, but it's posted in the waiting room and not in the in meeting.
I did post it again. Oh, okay, great. No, let me check. Yeah, I did post it again to everyone. So everyone should have now the information to the BATK elementary advising session, and as well as all the other advising sessions, except for physical education and kinesiology. I believe that the students have received them directly to their emails from NADA. I also had a question in my chat about who will be my advisor. I think we went over this, but just as a reminder, your advisor's name will show on your unofficial transcript in Minerva. This is for all the students in the BATK elementary, secondary, TESOL, music programs. And for the other programs like kinesiology and physical education, it's Nada Boumedi.
Thanks, Yasmin. We also have a question asking for any updates about the winter term, which is ironic since we haven't actually started the fall term yet. But I appreciate the question. Right now we don't. At the moment, we're proceeding with the fall term with the information that we have. One of the tricky things about this, the situation that's arisen from the pandemic is that information changes quite rapidly at times. And I'm happy to communicate that McGill has a very dedicated team of administrators and staff that respond as quickly as possible, and we've been able to make plans and contingencies. So for the moment, there is no information about whether or not the winter term will be offered remotely or in person. Once a decision is made, then that will be communicated to everyone. And I know many of you are thinking housing and all the other questions that come up, I understand, but unfortunately, I don't think it's wise to make a decision at this point until we know more about how the fall is going to unfold. They will try to let you know as quickly as possible, but for now we don't know. All right, scrolling down. And again, I apologize. I'm trying to cover every question, but if I've missed yours, I apologize. I'll try to get back to it, or you can send it again. What's the KPE orientation session about? Nada, are you still with us? Nada is the person who would be able to answer that. Let me just go through our participant list here.
It's the advising session for kinesiology and physical education students. And I'm just like looking at the data and the information that we have about that. If you can give me just a second, I'm almost there. So it's Monday, August 31st from 10 to 12, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and it's it's the new student department orientation session. So it's just an introduction about the department and the resources available for you at the department, as well as advising.
We have another question, and this is a good one, about can French-speaking students complete their field experiences entirely in French and in French schools? Primarily, we place students in the English school system because we're an English university. But yes, it is possible to find placements in French. Even English schools have placements in French. And of course, we have our French immersion option in the K Elementary program, which is an excellent option. Many of you have been hearing, and it was on the news again this morning, that they are in the midst of a teacher shortage, exacerbated by early retirement, medical exemptions for returning to work. But that teacher shortage it began years ago. And it's felt most profoundly in the French system, in large part because the French system is bigger than the English system. And so if you're able to do your placements in French and demonstrate your proficiency as a teacher in the French system, then you're probably setting yourself up very well for a quick employment once you finish your program. Continuing on. Yasmin's posted some information for everyone, so hopefully you're looking at it in the chat. There's a question here from someone, Amanda, that's interested in placements in special needs or alternative schools, and whether or not that's a possibility. It is a possibility. It can't be done for all your placements because the Ministry of Education regulations require that you have placements in certain types of settings, but we do offer alternative placements in at least one, if not two, opportunities. And so that's something you want to try and pursue. In the past, we've also had some educational enrichment opportunities that were outside of the field placements that has also enabled students to get some experience working in alternative environments. And so that's something you definitely want to contact your placement coordinator to talk about, or include that on your placement form once you receive it. Where do you look to see if you need textbooks for your courses? That information will be communicated to you by your instructors. It's probably in the course outline if you've received it already. There's also many instructors use My Courses as a space. If you're not familiar with My Courses, just play around with it a little bit and you'll be able to get a handle on it pretty quickly. And the next question, where can you find a recording of this presentation? Well, currently it exists on my computer, which hopefully you don't have access to. But what we'll do is we'll make sure that we put it up on our website so that you can refer back to it. Just give us about a day to make sure that we can get it up in a place that makes sense, and then you'll receive an email follow-up that lets you know where to find it. Are all textbooks available for ordering in the Le James bookstore? It really depends. Not everyone puts a textbook order at Le James. Some use Paragraph bookstore. Some people will advise students that they can get the book online from a different source that's sometimes less expensive for an online version. So really look to your instructors and their course outline for what they recommend. Recent college graduating students that have not done the EETC exam, will a student be penalized in any way if they have not done it yet? The English exit exam. That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that one. That's a bit tricky. Yasmin, you look perplexed too.
If it's related to admissions, it's probably that the question should go to the admissions office. I'm not sure.
Okay.
How like what the reply would be to this question.
Okay.
I also provided, sorry Lisa, I also provided McGill 101, which is provided, it's a kind of training available and orientation available for students who are like in their first year. So it will give you an idea about how to operate Minerva, how to check My Courses. So I provided you with the link here so that you can access it and get more information about Minerva and McGill 101.
All right, that's great, thank you. And I see Laura has posted quite a bit of information there too about different advising sessions as well. We have a question here about field placements and whether or not they are paid. They are not, and the reason they are not is because you're getting course credit for them. And so the course credit, and this is I'll be honest, a long-standing question. about education and field placements that also falls within several other sectors. There's one exception to that. The ministry has provided what we call the Internship and Perseverance Success Scholarship, which has only been in existence now for 2 years in 2 different forms. And that's only available to students in their final placement. So for BEd students, that would be in their FE4 placement. MATL students who aren't with us, I don't think today, that would be in their second internship. So you currently, students in their 4th year have access to that. It's $3,900, which I'll be honest with you is unheard of in most faculties of education where an internship is paid. So we're very, very fortunate to receive that support from the Ministry of Education. Otherwise, your field placements are not paid. I love when someone starts, I'm not sure if you'll have the answer, because I feel like it's a personal challenge. Like I got to dig in and really figure this out. Okay, give me a second to read this. Okay, this is a good question. So for some of you, when you look at your course information on Minerva, there is an actual classroom assigned to the course. Unless you've been notified, your courses are all being offered remotely. The reason that there's a room actually assigned is it's just the system automatically generates the room from the information that was submitted way back before all of this happened. So the university is, as you know, the classes are being offered remotely. So there are some classes where there is an option to attend face-to-face, but the instructor would have contacted you and made that very clear to you. The vast majority of you will be doing your courses remotely, even if there is a room assigned for the course. Okay, here we have an interesting, it's a very specific question. If I pass the EETC exam at another university, in this case Concordia, do you have to retake it? Yasmin, are we allowed to transfer the credit for EETC?
This is a first. I'm assuming if they have done it, within the past 2 years, I think we can have the like exemption for this EETC exam, but I would have to look further into it. But I'm assuming that if she's done it, it's still valid. So yeah, we can do that for the student.
Okay. So someone here is fortunate to be employed as a teacher already and is asking some specific questions about the internships. Internships are required, they're the same because it's a program requirement and they're set out by the Ministry of Education. But there are some accommodations that are kind of case specific. So what you need to do is get in touch with your placement coordinator so we can find out more information about whether or not that's possible. And someone's asking about buying their books, whether you can buy them in person or you have to buy them online. I would contact the Le James bookstore. I imagine they'll have that information on their website, but you should definitely double check because I don't know the answer to that one. I think as often as possible, they're trying to minimize the requirement to come in face-to-face. The Le James bookstore, for those of you that haven't been there, is actually quite small. Increasingly, I think for very good reasons, more and more instructors and faculty members are using online resources anyway. And so double check with them, but I think you'd probably be able to purchase most things online. Hey, I'm caught up. I got to the end of the questions.
If we missed any of your questions, please send them again.
So the one thing I wanted to, and I know you're very busy and we were very cautious. We wanted to, I know we're 5 minutes over what we said we would do, and we are cautious, or we understand that being on the computer all day is daunting for a lot of people. And I say that from experience because I feel like I am constantly doing things like this. So yeah, the fall term is going to look different than what you had anticipated, as is the case for almost every university student on the planet at the moment. And so the one thing I want to just say is that I would really encourage you to look at this as an opportunity. The one thing about education, and I can tell you this having been a teacher for a very long time and now working in the field of education, is that if you are adaptable and flexible as a teacher, you are going to have a long and successful career. Because there's one thing I can guarantee you, is that despite what people think about education and change, education does adapt. And if you're one of the people who does well with adapting, then yeah, this is going to be a really interesting time for you. But the biggest thing is you have instructors who are very committed to your success. You have staff like those in our office, again, that are equally committed to your success. And so communication is absolutely key. We do our best to communicate. We don't always get to see how it's received. So if you have questions, reach out and ask. If you don't get a response right away, ask again. And it's not a problem. On any given day, sometimes the volume of email that we receive is massive, especially at the beginning of the term. And so it's not that people are ignoring your requests, it's that it probably is just one of many. And so be a good advocate for yourself, but please be patient. Understand that we're all grappling with a very unique and very different situation that we haven't experienced. But the main thing is that we are very excited to have you with us and getting ready to be a teacher in a very exciting and dynamic field. And we'll do our best to support you. So Yasmin and Lara, I know you've done a lot of work here. I want to thank you for that while everyone's still here. Yasmin and Lara really spearheaded this today, and we're able to put together a lot of the resources and arrange for all the people that have joined us today. We also have several of our advisors. I don't know if they're all still with us, but remember your academic advisors with DICE are Tina, Grace, and Susie, and they're fantastic. Reach out to them with any questions that you have. We have our coordinators, or sorry, our directors of our programs who are also very accessible. I know Cheryl's here because I can see her on my screen right now. So, but I don't know if everyone else is because I've got 5 screens of people that I haven't been able to scroll through. So Cheryl, Mindy, Jim, Carolyn, thank you very much for joining us today and being able to answer questions and offer your support. And of course, the staff from the ISA that are here with us, including Nada. Nada, even though she works for KPE, often is over with us doing student appointments in our office as well, so we consider her part of our team. My apologies if I've missed anyone. I know Sharon's here with us too. And don't forget what the role that the library staff play. They're a great resource under all circumstances, so please utilize those. As new students, you have a wealth of resources available to you. My daughter started university last year, my oldest daughter, and the one thing I told her is you're paying for this, so take advantage of every single thing they offer you. Go to the writing center, you know, take advantage of all of the advising sessions. This is your hard-earned tuition dollars are spread out across a vast array of resources. Take advantage. Go to every session, everything that you can, and soak it all in, because this is going to be a fantastic experience for you. So get involved, get connected. EduS is a fantastic student association, as are the individual associations, SAPEC, Medusa. Get involved, people. You're going to make the most of your experience by doing that. So on that note, I'm going to turn my microphone off. Thank you very much for your time. I'll turn it over to Yasmin and Lara for any final comments.
I just want to also thank you today for joining us, and I wish you a very good academic year. Best of luck. Sarah?
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. I want to echo Lisa's comment about reaching out, using as many services as you need. Don't be shy. We're all here to help you and support you throughout your degree. So anything you need, feel free to contact us.
That's great. Thank you, everyone. All right, we're going to let you off the hook. Go have lunch, enjoy, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great semester.
Bye.